Hello, everybody. Coach Kevin here. Today, we're going to talk about attacking and defending third. That's our game moments and field area defending third. And more specifically, we're going to focus on marking techniques. And today's session, main activity is a 5v5, three-team rotation plus your five neutrals or five bumpers on the outside. This is to be modified, adjusted depending on how many players you actually have at practice. So you can do 4v4 plus 4, 5v5 plus 5, etc. First things first, a little bit about me. I'm connected with the Boynton Knights. I coach two teams, boys. I am an A licensed coach. I have CTL, club technical lead, and director of coaching license as well. I've done some video analysis, opponent analysis in the pro environment, for teams here in the US and in Belgium. And we also have an MLS Next bracket within our team. So I coach and I do the scouting for that MLS Next bracket. I'll include the link to my resume so you guys get an idea on who I am. And you can go over it on your own time if this ever opens. Here we go. Right, I'll include the link if you like the template, if you like the style, feel free to reach out to me. I'll send you a link and you can actually modify it. Tells you a little bit more about me, where I've been, who I am, who I've worked for, etc. So let's start. So understanding unmarking techniques in a 5v5 game plus bumpers. Obviously, essential tactical skill. If you master the off the ball movement in soccer, it allows you to create space, maintain possession, um, get underneath, get away from pressure, advance or progress play effectively. So I use a 5v5 three team rotation with the bumpers on the outside, so you can actually use the bumpers to create overloads as well. So it's a tight playing area, so it requires quick decision making, intelligent movements, timing, and execution of the pass. So the setup for the 5v5 plus five bumpers or 4v4 plus four, obviously five players per team. That includes a goalkeeper. You can go to a big goal, two big goals, or use a big goal and two mini goals. Personally, I only have one goalkeeper in youth, so I use one big goal and two mini goals. Five bumpers who are neutral. They play with the team in possession. They're on the sideline. And if you have five, you can add a bumper next to or in the middle of the two mini goals, for example. It's a smaller playing area. Typically, I do the length of two 18-yard boxes and obviously the width of the 18-yard boxes. So this format provides a lot of opportunities for them to break away from their marker, lose or move your marker. So that's that. In regards to warm up, personally, I do my game warm up, FIFA warm up plus my ball warm up. But if you don't do that, I included a quick warm up, 15 minutes. It's a rondo with the focus on off the ball movement. You can do a 10 by 10 or 12 by 12 square. Make sure that after they pass, they actually move into space or adjust their body shape. So you want to focus on that off the ball movement and unmark or lose or move or lose their opponent. The techniques, four big ones. Obviously, you're looking for double movements or counter moves, if you will, where a player would fake one move, one direction, and then quickly check back with some acceleration, explosiveness into the pocket or the space that they just created for themselves. In and out, meaning you check in, you commit the defender, he will follow your movement. Defender does not know what you're about to do, but you know what you're about to do. So quick change of direction, and the defender has a forward movement while you do the counter move. So the change of speed after that fake is used to create separation. You can also use your body feints and basically deception for the defender. Then we have the in and out. Obviously, the counterpart for in and out is out and in, which is usually used by wingers or attacking players where you go outside first. You see or you notice that the defender is committing to your movement outside. You just create a passing channel on the inside. So again, the acceleration, the explosiveness needs to be there. And obviously with your supporting player, you're looking to um, receive the ball where you're not losing speed when you're attacking that space behind the defender. So the passing execution needs to be on point as well. Um, Then we have the checking in and away or come and go and come counter moves. Obviously, you come and you go, meaning you check into the ball and then you create space behind that defender once you see that defender's following your movement. And then you can actually explode and accelerate space behind the defender. So communication with the passer again is key. So they can actually pass the ball into that space. Go and come is a counter move where you go long first or go away from the ball first. The defender is going to follow your running line or running pattern. Once you see that the defender is committing to your um, move, then you can actually do the counter move again. So I mentioned the acceleration, explosiveness a couple of times already, and the timing of the run and the speed of the run. So those are very, very important. Let's get into the training session plan. So obviously focus is on marking or detaching, losing or moving away from your marker. We're playing a 5v5 plus bumpers. I already went over the setup, the length of two 18-yard boxes, the width of the 18-yard box, and try to use the bumpers to create overloads. And you can use the bumpers as well. The bumpers can do the player action as well to basically unmark with the check in, check away, check away, check in. You can add some restrictions. For example, obviously you let them play the first round, but you can also tell them like, hey, now the next time try to combine with the bumpers in order to score a goal or maybe get double points to score a goal. As a coach, obviously, since we're playing in very tight spaces and a lot of players in a very small area, you have a lot of coaching scenarios and stop and freeze moments that you would have in mind. Obviously, you're looking at your midfielders and your center backs as well when your goalkeeper has the play. You can do your stop and freeze moment. Right after the ball is played to the midfielder, for example, if the midfielder was not in motion or not moving and just stationary, standing still, flat-footed, you can ask the midfielder to check in first and then check away or do the out in and out. You can also focus on your left back, right back, where they try to exploit that space behind the winger. So stop and freeze, you can demo the solution, you can ask guided questions. Where's the space? How can you move to receive? Uh, Under less pressure, etc. So those are your scenarios that you can think of. Obviously, your primary players, since our attacking in the attacking moment in defending third would be your goalkeeper, your back four, and your six, and then your secondary players, your advanced midfielders, cams. I mentioned this already. You can have a progression into this session as well with the three-team rotation where you add a finishing focus, where score within 5 seconds of receiving a pass from a bumper, for example. But got a discovery again. What could you do differently to lose your defender? Can you show me the counter move, the double movement? Scanning is important as well. But I'll go into that. So main principle, sub-principle. Main principle is you provide options to play forward, and the sub-principle, you move or lose your opponent when marked. And using those four techniques um, that we just mentioned, if you're marked, try to move into open space, or if you have to move to open up the space, that's a third man run. So you come and go, you go and come, you have the in and out and in technique. Scanning is important as a midfielder, as a left back, as a center back. You need to know where the pressure is coming from and obviously where the space is, so you can actually time your counter movements and double movements to create space or attack that space. So very important there. This is the supporting positioning I would like to mention, where if you go long, you're trying to get out of sight of the defender's vision. Once the defender commits to you, you can actually make that counter move. Another important thing here that I mentioned that you do not want to bring a defender into the ball carrier. Um, so the timing there is very important. You only want to make that double movement or counter moves when you see that your teammate or the ball carrier is looking for options. As long as they have space to attack, you do not want to check into the ball. Game realistic. This is coaching points. Obviously, we're focusing on number one, defensive third. We're building out from the back. Defenders on mark. Obviously, when we have the ball, and especially when the goalkeeper has the ball in the build-up play. And midfielders, you can drop deep and then turn quickly or spin away to escape from that pressure. Um, Key takeaways for players: scanning, anticipate the movement, know who's in front of you, know who your teammate is, how they typically play. Is it somebody who's looking for a pass? Is it somebody that likes to run with the ball to penetrate? Players try to use that deception and change of pace and direction to unmark and timing. I mentioned timing, so try to time your run perfectly to sync with passes and or spaces that you created. The coaches, obviously, with a tight space and many players in that confined space, you have a lot of stop and freeze moments to correct mistakes or correct the timing. You want to encourage the players to scan and focus on their positioning. And obviously, the training is game realistic with small-sided games. Um, 3 videos ago, this was the first one where we actually focused on the technique of the four techniques, where we focused on the in and out, out and in. So this was unopposed. You go and come. So you check away and then you check into the ball. This is you check into the ball and you go away. So the cones, so no defenders, unopposed. This was Monday. And then after we had a lot of repetitions, per players on the techniques, then we went into opposed, the 2v2, 3v3 game if you wanted to add a progression there. So these are also posted on YouTube and also on my Instagram account at the Scouting Corner. So that was Monday. On Tuesday, we had a half field space, so we focused on the tactical game situation where we were building out from the back. So we really had some player actions that we wanted to focus on and try to show them some patterns. So the setup here was a goalkeeper plus your back four and your triangle in midfield versus obviously the front three defending and their triangle in midfield. So we really focused on trying to get away in midfield and tight spaces on the flank because your center backs, two center backs, and your goalkeeper basically playing 3 against 1. So it was all about timing of the run on Tuesday. And then today we have the 3v3, I'm sorry, 3-team rotation with bumpers. And that's this one where we also focus tight spaces. I included all the techniques here again. We have the in and out, typically the center backs, when the goalkeeper has the ball so they can create the angle of support. You have the out and in, where that's typically used by midfielders or wingers so they can actually create that passing channel to go long or deep or penetrate, break through the lines. So this is the in and out. That's the out and in, the number 10 there. That was good. And then we can use the bumpers as well that check in and then go long. And then this is another bumper that goes long first. He draws the defender or the winger with him, and then he checks into the ball. I'll include the link in the description. This one is going to my Instagram account as well. I post everything there, so feel free to follow me on there. So physical periodization and time, work versus recovery versus number of reps. 5v5 situation. So you're basically looking at a 3 to 4 minute work, a 1 to 2 minute recovery, and 3 to 4 repetitions. So right off the bat, you are looking at 6 minutes per set, per cycle. I'm sorry, you do that 4 times. That's 24 minutes. You have your 4 minute of rest, so you that brings you up to like 28 to 30 minutes, and you do 2 sets total. So that's your 60-minute reps and sets in a game-based training activity of this one 3-team rotation, plus your warm-up, your rondo, or your game warm-up that will take it to 80 to 90-minute session. I mentioned the rules and restrictions. You can add some restrictions, number of touches. You can add some rules, connect with the bumper first while the bumper does the unopposed technical move there, come and go and come situation. But yeah, plenty. Obviously, the goals, I mentioned the goals. I usually use a big goal and 2 mini goals. because I only have one goalkeeper. Just a friendly reminder, don't forget to follow me at the Scouting Corner on Instagram. It's also the same one on YouTube. There's about 23,000 followers there. So thank you all for listening. I'll be back on Monday.